The power that women have to lead. Hey ladies, I am back and super excited about today's conversation with Kelly Roach. So Kelly and I actually had this conversation a while back on my Instagram. We did an Instagram live, and that's what I'm going to be sharing today. And I was really inspired by our conversation and wanted to reshare it with you on the podcast. And if you are not familiar with Kelly Roach, you need to go check her out at the unstoppablentrepreneur.com. It's Kelly, Kelly, Roach, like a cockroach, Roach. She's a business strategist. She transforms overworked entrepreneurs into 7-figure CEOs by teaching them how to leverage timeless business principles. She is a freaking powerhouse. So I actually don't enjoy interviewing people, believe it or not. The people that I have conversations with are people that I find fascinating, and I'm always intrigued and attracted to women in business or people. It's either women who own businesses or women who help business owners create massive wealth without apologizing for it. So I know that not everybody that listens to my podcast is a business owner. That's why I try to do a personal one once a week and a professional one once a week for business owners. Because as I started building my business, I was attracting women who, yes, you wanted the relationship stuff and the emotional intelligence and the time management and, really how to lead and step into who you want to be and attract and manifest and all the things that I teach. But from a business perspective, there is a lot of masculinity in the business world. And a lot of times why we're holding ourselves back is because we're like, I don't want to buy into that. So when I find a woman who is not burning out and she's making 7 figures, well, maybe not making, but her businesses are making 7, 8 figures, I want to know these women. I want to know how they think. I want to know how they live. I want to know how they act. I want to know how they contribute. I want to know how they mother. And not everybody has the same values, but there's a lot of things that I learned from these women. And they, perfectionism is just not something that they subscribe to anymore. They don't deal with bullshit. They are very clear on what they want. They know how to delegate, but they also want to make an impact. And here's the thing. I tell people all the time, listen, think about the more time you have, the more money you have, the more energy you have, you can make a bigger impact in the world, right? But when we're coming from this place and give in our businesses or in our lives and we have nothing to say for it. And sometimes we got to stop for a few years and we have to put a giving detox and we really have to build a solid foundation from the ground up again. But man, when you do that, you can give so much fucking more and make a bigger impact. So that's why I'm really excited for you to have this conversation with Kelly. Well, you're not having the conversation with Kelly. You're listening to my conversation with Kelly. So check her out, theunstoppablentrepreneur.com. You can find her at Kelly Roach it's called unstoppablentrepreneur.com. Kelly Roach on Instagram. And I also want to know, what did you think about this conversation? What was your biggest takeaway? And again, you do not need to own a business to benefit from this message. And if you haven't already, get your ass over and register for my workshop. It's called Why Not You? Why not you? Why can't you have this too? Yes, it takes time. Yes, it takes consistency. Yes, it takes effort. There are no magic pills, but guess what? Are you satisfied with who you are right now? If you wake up the same exact position, personally and professionally, 10 years from now. So why not you? It's $17. It's happening September 16th. There's a replay if you can't make it live. I'm going to be on fire. Magic is happening. So get your ass over there. Heather Chauvin. My last name is spelled AUVIN.com/why not? WHYNOT. Why not? Why not you? Prove it to me. Prove it to everybody else that you can. And you will. Kelly Roach. Hello, everyone. I'm excited. I'm doing an Instagram live with Kelly Roach, and she is from the Unstoppable Entrepreneur. And we are going to get started, and we're going to talk about how women lead. And I see her here, so let's see if it works. There she is.
Hey, hey.
Just like it's like a dress rehearsal. You just pop, you just like run out of one room and come into the other.
Exactly.
Love it. Where are you? Are you in Florida?
We just moved to Florida. We moved to Delray Beach. We were in Westchester, Pennsylvania. And we thought that we were going to get a vacation property down here. And we were searching. And then we found kind of our dream house. And then we were like, we're not going to be going back to Pennsylvania anytime soon. So we decided we are all in here.
Love it. And I love how when you kind of get out of your own way and create freedom in your life professionally or with, in business, then you can make that happen. And today we're talking about how women lead or women lead. What are we talking about, Kelly?
I mean, we can talk about anything. If you want to talk about leadership, I'm happy to talk about leading a team in 2021 and finding your ability to elevate into your highest version of yourself through leadership. I think that's, it's a great conversation we can have.
So, okay, we're going to talk about leadership. We'll see where this conversation goes. But this is so I talk a lot about parenting, like that's the in, and then yes, time management and all of that. A lot of women will say to me, I'm not a leader.
Yeah.
And I think motherhood is one of those most sacred, undervalued leadership roles. But I've noticed the parallels of how I lead as a mother and then how that actually strengthens me as a business owner. Mm-hmm. And when you're running a team, and I would love to talk about running a team and scaling and leading a team, because I do see a lot of us, self-included, have had to go through a lot of blocks and healing when it comes to building that rock star team. So why don't we start wherever you want to take it?
Well, I'll say for starters, people say all the time that business and being an entrepreneur is the greatest personal development exercise of all time. And I do agree with that. But I think the thing that goes hand in hand and neck and neck with that is becoming an extraordinary leader. And I think in the world of entrepreneurship, there's been such a misrepresentation of the importance of leadership, and that entrepreneurship is leadership and leadership is entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. As is parenting, as is having a successful marriage, as is influencing, impacting, anyone in any area of your life, right? And I think that you said, for yourself, for example, there's like a lot of healing around leading, around building a team. And we have to realize most entrepreneurs, one of the biggest blocks that they have to achieving the level of success that they want in entrepreneurship is their leadership.
Yeah.
They think that leading is about, hiring the right people, getting them to do a good job at their job, delegating things. It's all about them, right? Yeah. But what we know is that leadership actually is us. It's our team is just mirroring back to us how we're being, our energy, our vibration, our authenticity, our intentionality, right? So I think that the big thing is most entrepreneurs don't understand that working on their growth as a leader, that is your development as a human being. Mm. Because everything that we do is leadership. We're either leading ourselves or we're leading someone else. And I think that a lot of entrepreneurs don't see themselves in that way because they say, well, I don't want a big company. I just want to, make enough to be free. I want to be financially free. Oh, okay. Well, let's say you want to be a solopreneur, which you're not going to be free. As a solopreneur, you will work 20 hours a day, probably. But even if you just want to have a really small company and your vision isn't to run this big organization, as someone that wants to impact the market, as someone that wants to make sales online, as someone who wants to make a difference, all you're doing is leading. That's all you're doing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I've watched
I've watched my company that I literally started my business charging $10 a child, teaching them meditation in my living room. Never in my life expected to even start a business. And I just organically, instead of being like, I got to do this, it just grew and grew and grew and grew. Now leading into like a 7-figure business with like team. And I know I still have so much room for improvement, and it's just always shifting and course correcting. And it reminds me so much of leading your children, right? And it's actually doing less for other people. And so I would love to talk about how innately women make amazing leaders.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's a difference between being of service and like being a martyr, right? I think a lot of women confuse being of service with just kind of almost like giving so much to the point of like self-destruction.
Right.
And leadership, to me, when I look at great leadership is being able to see a level of extraordinary greatness in another human being that they don't even see in themselves, as is parenting, right? Madison, my daughter's 7, and my focus and my goal from the day that she was born is to help her believe that she can have anything in this world that she wants to create as long as she's willing to do the work. And that's been like the mantra, right? And so now I see her as this, she's very confident, she's very articulate, she's very determined, she believes, right? It's you just seeing in another person what they don't see in themselves yet. It's not you doing it for them. And isn't that so interesting? Because it's the same thing as parenting, right? It is your job as a parent to do everything for your kids. No, that'll break them, right? That's not a good thing. Doing everything for our kids is not a good thing. That doesn't create the outcome that any of us want, right? As is good leadership. Good leadership is first I see Heather, I see a level of extraordinary greatness in you, Heather, that you don't even see in yourself yet. Yeah. And I am here to coach you, to give you guidance, to give you feedback, to share my learnings with you so that you can step in to fill the shoes of that next version of yourself, that next version of what you're capable of that you don't even see as possible right now because you just haven't had the experience of it yet.
Exactly.
And I think as women confuse doing things for others with leading, right? And that's why so many women, I think, are so exhausted by the idea of leadership and they don't want to build teams because they think that it is so much about doing, right? Versus creating and holding the space, vision casting, and then empowering, right? Mm-hmm. Getting results through others, helping others to cross the bridge to achieve that outcome that both you want for them and they want for themselves. That doesn't mean you needing to do it for them, right?
I love that. So I'm listening to you, and anytime I've had mentorship, it's vulnerable, it's uncomfortable, right? Because your shame can come up of like, I'm not enough. Why couldn't I figure that out myself? And anytime you're growing in your leadership, especially when you have a mentor or coach, somebody who's like, I see that in you. Let's go. Like, you got to grow and like, who do you need to become in order to make that happen? Is such a beautiful, sacred thing. And yet the vulnerability of it, because it does actually feel easier. I'm always like, this isn't hard. It's just emotionally uncomfortable. So we got to like let that down of, I don't need to do for everybody else. I just need to lead. So what's the mindset shift of that?
So I want to talk about that because I actually think you're bringing up such a powerful thing. And I run a couple of my higher level programs are specifically on helping CEOs develop their leadership skills so they can scale their company and get out of the day-to-day operations. And I think one of the things that intimidates us the most, and I say us all included, is that we think that to be a good leader, we have to know everything, we have to have all the answers, we have to do it the right way, we have to act perfect, we have to give everyone around us full confidence that we know exactly what we're doing at all times. For me, I feel like the most empowering moment of my life was when we hit 8 figures last year. Our goal is to get to 9. And I said to my team, I have no effing clue what I'm doing. I'm going to be completely transparent with you on this journey. We're going to figure this out together. I'm going to be a great leader to you. That doesn't mean that everything we try is going to be the right way the first time. We're going to make mistakes. I'm going to fall down. I'm going to acknowledge if I made a mistake or if I gave a wrong direction. And it feels so good to say, I can be a great leader. And that is not hinging on perfection. That is not hinging on having all the answers. That is not hinging on saying, oh yeah, I've done this before and I'm going to walk you through how to do it. And I think that is such freedom, right?
What's your relationship? Freedom. I'm so curious. What's your relationship now with perfectionism?
Oh, I feel everything I've accomplished in my life has been unlearning perfectionism. Everything. And even in my coaching, when I'm coaching my team or coaching the higher level leaders that I work with, I feel the more that you're able to embrace imperfection, see imperfection in yourself, share it with others, people feel a sense of connectivity and are empowered to go further faster because you can instill that trust, that human heart-to-heart trust, and it actually adds to your credibility. To me, the more you cling to perfection, the more credibility you lose because it's not the truth, and we all know it's not the truth. So it's a lie. The more that we're like, and I felt this for myself, it's been so freeing to say to my team or to say to my clients, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I'm doing the best I can do based on the experience that I have, based on the learnings that I've had, but I've never gone where I'm trying to go. I don't know, but that's not going to hold me back from trying. And I think the more we can free ourselves from perfection and the more that we can own imperfection and actually celebrate it, further you can go and the faster you're going to get there. And for those of you guys that maybe you're like watching this and you're like, but again, I don't want to build a big company. I don't want to build a big team. That's not the message of what we're talking about here. Yeah. We're talking about helping, whether you're a mom that wants to get, your parenting relationship to the next level with your kids, or you want to have a better, closer relationship with your spouse, or you want to get the very small team that you have performing at the next level, or maybe one day you will want to build a big team if your perception changes. But I think the bottom line is when you can feel free to do the best that you can do from where you are and love yourself in the imperfection of your growth in that moment, that's freedom. That's when you're going to do your best work. That's when you're going to answer your calling, right?
What is your perspective? I love this conversation. And oh yes, it's so freeing to just say, I just throw so many F-bombs. I'm learning so much reading this damn audio version of my book. I didn't know if I was allowed to do that on the show with you. So I was trying to. Well, it's Instagram. You never know. But if it was the podcast, but yeah, I throw F-bombs. That was my first thing when I started my business. I'm like, I'm just going to say fuck it every single sentence. And people were like, I love you, but you got to stop swearing. And in that moment, that's all I had. I was like, this is who I am. I'm the angry entrepreneur. Okay. And I was like, I'm so fucking sorry. You might want to unsubscribe. And I was like, you know what? You just got to figure it out as you go. And I don't say as many of them now. Kelly, what was your first? I could talk to you forever. We'll do like 5 more minutes here. Yeah. What was your first business and how did that start? Did you always want to be a business owner?
No, I did not want to be a business owner. I did not aspire to be an entrepreneur. That was never my goal. That was never my plan. I graduated from college. I went right into Fortune 500. My goal was to get into the highest level executive position I could as fast as I could to achieve financial freedom, to have all the things that I thought I was supposed to do, which is exactly what I did. I got promoted 7 times in 8 years. I ended up managing 17 locations. I had a team of 100 people. And I got to the top of my mountain and I was like, I did it. Dun, 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 dun. And then I was like, and I climbed the wrong mountain. But I never, ever, ever disparage that experience because everything that I do today hinges on what I learned. Everything that I teach, I'm a business strategist. Everything that I teach came from the experience of leading and teaching and growing others. So I don't regret that at all. But no, I didn't even know what entrepreneurship was. Like, I didn't even know what this world was. And then I kind of got up there and I was like, okay, this isn't it. I know this isn't it. And for me, I wanted to work directly with small business owners where what I was doing and the impact that it was making tied back to changing people's family and the trajectory of their life. And that's when I decided, okay, my business is going to be focused on taking these strategies that I learned and really empowering small business owners to understand the true elements of, sales and marketing, infrastructure and team and systems that goes into building a company versus a lot of the stuff, obviously, that we see online that is it's so fractured and dismantled and disjointed, and it's so tactical that it actually hurts entrepreneurs substantially and holds them back. So yeah, it wasn't my vision, but I'm so happy I'm here. And my first business was the Unstoppable Entrepreneur. It was called, all different things. And, now today we have 52 full-time employees. It's awesome. I love it. It's a passion of my life. And I have 3 other companies that I run with partners. And it's just, it's amazing that we even have this opportunity. I'm just so grateful to have the opportunity and even to get to do things like this that we're doing here today.
Yeah. And I love that you learn as you go and you learn as you grow. And I'm sure forever ago, if someone told you where you are today, you probably wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah, for sure. And I would just say to everybody listening, never discount or disparage your past. I think that's a huge, huge mistake, especially with women. They'll say, oh, well, that doesn't have anything to do with what I want to do now. And I'm like, no. That's everything.
Yeah.
Everything you went through, everything you did, every place that you went, every job that you have, every setback, obstacle, hurdle, that's the formation of your character. That's your hero's journey. That's what's preparing you to do what's next. So I would just say, don't discount it. Bring it with you.
I love it. And it's so useful in your leadership and creating the life that you want. And it's messy and imperfect. I want to ask you about your foundation. I feel like there's some magic in there and what you're doing in the world. So please tell.
I have big dreams with the foundation. So it started off just like a couple of years ago, as the business was beginning to grow. I said, I want to be a one-for-one giving company. So for every client, I want to make a donation. And we started off when we were a little baby business, and we started off with charity water because $30 brings clean drinking water to one person for life. And I was like, I can do that. That's manageable for me. I had a very small company, handful of clients. I was like, I can do this, right? So we had our little tracker that we put on the website, and literally we would count. Like every week it would be like, okay, one more person. But then as the company began to grow, I was like, oh my gosh, like I can do something here. Like I can really do this. And so in 2019, I created the Human Family Foundation. And that's really, for me, my goal is to get my companies to be self-led, to, bring in the right executive team and really be able to use the success of those companies to fuel work around the world with the foundation. And it's just like anything else. You start off with little tiny baby steps. We started off, we built our first well last year with charity water. We fully funded our first well, which was like, it was a cool moment for us because we went from like, can we donate enough to like get one person clean drinking water to can we build a full well? Last year we got to donate to a bunch of different organizations, Black Girls Code, SoGal, like we have our hands in a bunch of different things. But my vision is, I know a lot of people like, they become successful entrepreneurs. They're like, I want to have my private jet and I want my Lamborghini and I want this and I want that. My goal as an entrepreneur is to have a plane that flies around the world with food, with water, with supplies that can respond immediately to tragedies that happen around the world. And we have no ties. We're not owned by anyone. There's no motivation to what we're doing. There's no profit to what we're doing. And so it's just getting the business to be to the point where we can do that and just doing it imperfectly and just trying to like put one foot in front of the other and say like, we can make a difference from where we are with what we've got, even if it's just like a little tiny baby step forward, one at a time,
I love this. This is why it's not selfish to make more money and create wealth. And I think women are the ones that are slowly changing the world. And we got to step into our power and show up and be imperfect. This has been an amazing conversation. Where can people find you? I know you have, like you said, multiple companies. Where can they start, listen to you, all of that?
For sure. Well, if you're looking to start or build and grow a company of any kind, I would say the Unstoppable Entrepreneurship. We have over 600 episodes already online, so you can just go like binge it, have fun with it, learn from it. And of course, Kelly Roach Official here on Instagram.
Kelly, thank you so much. I am so incredibly grateful for you and for this connection and for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's great to connect. Thanks, Heather.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Take care. Bye.
Well, that's it. And I wanted to thank you for listening today because I truly believe you are exactly where you need to be. And now I have a favor to ask. In exchange for the value you've gained from this free podcast, I'd be forever grateful if you would leave us a review on iTunes. Share the show with at least one woman in your life who you feel would benefit, and or take a screenshot and share it on social media. And always feel free to tag me at Heather Chauvin. The world does not benefit from your guilt and fatigue. The world needs more women who are willing to unlearn everything they've been taught. Women who are courageous enough to feel good and not let guilt run the show. I believe you are that courageous woman. To see if my community and coaching is the right fit for you and your big vision, the relationships you desire, the money, time, energy that you know deep down you are capable of creating, then head on over to heatherchauvin.com/work with me. That's Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/work with me, and take the next step in the right direction. Taking a stand for how you feel means you are taking a stand for how your children show up as adults. And if you have a personal question or topic you'd like me to answer on the podcast, text me 313-710-5199. 313-710-5199. You are so worthy of feeling good. Now go do some scary shit.